You're listening to Excellence Above Talent, a podcast where we have the hard conversations about the lives of men and what leads us to achieve greatness and suffer defeat. Hear from other men's journeys as well, as we all learn and grow together to become inspirations to ourselves and those around us. And now your host, Aaron Thomas.
What's up, my beautiful people? Aaron Thomas with Excellence Above Talent. I have been processing this thought for the past 2 weeks, and it's finding peace in who God says you are. And today I want to have a conversation I wish that I had with a mentor or my dad or a man some point in my younger years. And I've never had that conversation, but I want to make sure that, young boys, young men, or maybe even men my age need to hear what's about to be said today, because this is still something that I fight to this day. And it's that feeling of I'm doing everything right. Everything is going good, but I still do not feel like I'm enough. Days where I question myself. Days where I wonder if I'm the right person for what God has called me to do. Days where I feel like maybe people are just being nice. Maybe I'm not as good as I think I am. Maybe this success won't last. Maybe I'll just mess it all up. And if you are a man listening to my podcast today, I want you to know something. You are not alone. A lot of us fight battles no one sees, not because we hate ourselves, but because somewhere along the way we believe we had to earn our worth and earn the love, earn kindness, earn respect. But today, I want to challenge that lie. As men, we're taught that our values come from what we produce, how much money we make, how strong we are, how many people respect us, whether we're winning or losing, whether we're successful, whether we're providing, whether we fail. We start believing that if those things disappear, our worth disappears too. But that's the dangerous way to live, because your identity are attached to your performance, and your performance will always fluctuate. Have you ever noticed something? Sometimes nothing bad has happened, yet your mind convinces you that something is wrong. You start searching for the problem, searching for rejection, searching for signs people don't like you, searching for reasons you're going to fail. It's almost like your mind is trying to prove a story you've believed your entire life. You've never been enough. And once you believe that story, everything becomes evidence. Someone doesn't text back, they don't like me. Someone critiques your work, I'm failing. One bad day, my whole life is falling apart. But none of that may actually be true. You're simply looking through a lens of an old wound. One of the biggest lessons I've learned is this: your mind will always find evidence for the story you keep telling it. If you consistently tell yourself you're failing, you'll notice every mistake. If you consistently tell yourself you're unworthy, you'll ignore every success. If you consistently tell yourself nobody loves you, you'll overlook every person who does. Your mind is powerful, which means you have to guard what you feed it. Your enemy doesn't always need to destroy you. Sometimes he just needs to convince you that you've already been defeated. One thing I wish men understood: feelings are not failures. Feeling anxious doesn't make you weak. Feeling discouraged doesn't make you weak. Feeling overwhelmed doesn't make you weak. Feeling joy doesn't make you soft. Feeling peace doesn't make you less of a man. God created emotions. Jesus experienced emotions. He wept. He grieved. He felt compassion. He experienced anguish. And yet somehow we convinced ourselves that real men don't feel. That's not biblical. That's cultural. And culture has lied to us. Real strength isn't pretending you don't feel. Real strength is learning how to process your emotions without allowing them to control your decisions. We are doing a class at Hope Alive Church called Arma. And Pastor Manny Arango sits down and he breaks down the Bible in a crazy way. And we're talking about Moses. And yesterday, I went out, got new glasses, ate lunch with my wife. Coming back home, I had this overwhelming feeling. We're working on this men's workshop here in Odessa, and that feeling was, I'm not fit for this. Like, why am I doing this? Why am I putting myself out there to potentially fail, to be made fun of? Can someone else do it? But there's a story in the Bible about Moses. And God appears to him through a burning bush. And he says, I want you to lead my people out of Egypt. And Moses' first response was not confidence. It was excuses. And this is how I felt yesterday. Who am I? I can't speak. They won't listen. Send somebody else. And I'm wondering how many of us have prayed the same thing? Because I know I have. God, send someone else. I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not qualified. I've messed up too much. I've failed too many times. I've hurt too many people. Use someone better. But God's response to Moses by telling him, I will be with you. And that's the answer I needed yesterday, today, and maybe that's the answer that some of you need right now. Because God never based Moses' calling on Moses' perfection. Culture bases your calling on how good they think you are. But God bases his calling on who he knows you are. God bases his calling because he feels his presence in you. And so he's calling you. He's telling you to stop letting your past disqualify you. Because this is my issue. I am a monster. I can do bad things and not blink an eye. And I'm saying this and I'm pretty sure people are like, oh no, not him. But you don't know what I've been through in my life to create this monster. I've hurt a lot of people, not because I wanted to, but because of circumstances of how I grew up and what I thought and how I lived. A lot of my childhood and adulthood was me running from pain, me running from facing the person that I was trying to be. And any time in your life you don't face what you need to and you run from it, you create what you run from. So I'm running from pain, creating pain, leaving a trail of pain in my wake, not wanting people to feel my pain because I was wearing this mask and I had the bravado and I was happy-go-lucky and I was running around smiling, but internally, pain. And what is in you must come out of you. And pain followed me everywhere I went. And unfortunately, if you were around, pain was in your life too. So have you ever thought this before? God, you know who I used to be. You know the mistakes I've made. You know how selfish I was. You know how many people I've hurt. Why would you choose me? But what I've learned in those questionings that you might have of yourself and God is that God is never surprised by your past. He knew every mistake before he called you. He knew every failure before he gave you your purpose. He knew every weakness before he gave you the assignment. Your past doesn't disqualify you. It oftentimes becomes part of your testimony. Some of the men who were called to help won't listen to someone who's never struggled. They'll listen to someone who's been there before and found healing. So maybe you're like me and you're fighting the very thing God is trying to ask you to embrace. You're not fighting God because you don't love him. You're fighting God because you're scared. You're scared to fail, disappoint people. You're scared that you're not enough. But man to man, what if God isn't asking you to be enough by yourself? What if he's asking you to trust that he is enough? That's what Moses eventually learned. Joshua learned. Gideon learned. And David learned. God doesn't call perfect men. He calls willing men. Men who are not afraid to be laughed at, scoffed at, made fun of, talked about. Men who know that they have messed up and people know their secrets, but they show up anyway because they know it's bigger than them. One of the healthiest things I've learned is this: be where your feet are. If you're happy, be happy. Don't apologize for joy. If you're grieving, grieve. If you're tired, rest. If you're celebrating, celebrate. Stop feeling guilty for emotions God created. Process them. Bring them to God. Talk to trusted people. Journal. Pray. Take a walk. See a counselor if you need one. There is strength in processing. Ignoring emotions doesn't make them disappear. It buries them until they show up again somewhere else. And they will show up. If I could sit across every man listening today, I'd tell them this: you don't have to earn your worth. You don't have to prove your value. You don't have to perform for God's love. You are already loved. You are already seen. You are already enough to be used by God. That doesn't mean stop growing. It means stop believing the lie that growth is what makes you worthy. Your worth was settled long before your success. So stop fighting the calling. Stop arguing with God. Stop allowing your past to define your future. Walk into what he's placed before you. Not because you have all the answers, but because God who called Moses is the same God who strengthened Joshua, is the same God who restored Peter, is the same God that's walking with you today. Let's keep breaking the cycle around men's mental health. Let's remind each other that strength isn't pretending. Strength is showing up, trusting God, and taking the next step. If anyone hasn't told you today that they love you, let me be the first to say I love you. You're awesome. You're amazing. You deserve the best that this world has to offer. Do not quit. Do not give up. The world does not get easier. You get stronger. Y'all have a blessed weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. And for daily motivational and up-to-date content, follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Excellence Above Talent. And remember, keep moving forward, never give up, and you are never alone in this battle. We'll see you next time.